Te Vasudevaya, Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Narayana Namaskritya Naram Chaiva Narottamam Devim Saraswati Vyasanta Tojo Madhurayat. Srinivadasva Katha Krishna Punya Shravana Krishna Hridayanta Thoya Vadrani Vidunata Sursitam. Nashta Presha Padrisha Nityam Bhagavati Sivaya Bhagavati Uttama Shloka Bhagavati Rupavati Neshtiki. We will be reading today Canto 4, Chapter 27, Text 11. Ije Chakratu Pirko Ram Dikshita Pashumarakam Devan Pitrin Putapatin Nanakamo Yadhapavan. Words to words translation. Ije he worshipped, Cha also, Kratu he by sacrifices, Gora ghastly, Dikshita inspired, Pashumarka wherein 4 animals are killed, Devan the demigods, Pitrin 4 fathers, Utapatin great leaders of human society, Nana various, Kama having desires, Yadha like, Pavan you. Translation and purport by His Divine Grace A.C. Bhaktivedanta Srila Prabhupada Ki Jai. Translation. The great sage Narada continued, My dear King Prajna Parishad, like you, King Pranjana also became implicated in so many desires. Thus he worshipped demigods, forefathers, and social leaders with various sacrifices, which were all very ghastly because they were inspired by the desire to kill animals. Purport. In this verse, the great sage Narada discloses that the character of Puranjana was being described to give lessons to King Pranishad Parahishad. Actually, the entire description was figuratively describing the activities of King Pranishad. In this verse, Narada frankly says, like you, Yadhapavan, which indicates that King Pranjana is none other than King Pranishad himself. Being a great Vaishnava, Narada Muni wanted to stop animal killing in sacrifices. He knew that if he tried to stop the king from performing sacrifices, the king would not hear him. Therefore, he is describing the life of Puranjana. But in this verse, he first discloses the intention, although not fully, by saying like you. Generally, the karmis who are attached to increasing descendants have to perform so many sacrifices and worship so many demigods for future generations, as well as to satisfy so many leaders, politicians, philosophers, and scientists to make things go on properly for future generations. The so-called scientists are very eager to see that future generations will live very comfortably, and as such, they are trying to find different means of generating energy to drive locomotives, cars, airplanes, and so on. Now they're exhausting the petroleum supply. These activities are described in the Bhagavad Gita 2.41. Vyavasyatmik habudhir ekeha kuru nandana baha shakha hi anantacha budheo vyavasena. Those who are on the spiritual path are resolute in purpose, and their aim is one. O beloved child of the Kurus, the intelligence of those who are irresolute is many-branched. Actually, those who are in knowledge of everything are determined to execute Krishna consciousness, but those who are rascals, muta, sinners, dushkrita, and the lowest of mankind, naradama, who are bereft of all intelligence, maya, parsta, jnana, and who take shelter of the demoniac way of life, asuram bhavam, ashrita, are disinterested in Krishna consciousness. As such, they become implicated and take on so many activities. Most of these activities center around the killing of animals. Modern civilization is centered around animal killing. Karmis are advertising that without eating meat, their vitamin value or vitality will be reduced. So to keep oneself fit to work hard, one must eat meat, and to digest meat, one must drink liquor, and to keep the balance of drinking wine and eating meat, one must have sufficient sex to keep fit, to work very hard like an ass. There are two ways of animal killing. One way is in the name of religious sacrifices. All the religions of the world except the Buddhists have a program for killing animals and in places of worship. According to Vedic civilization, the animal eaters are recommended to sacrifice a goat in the temple of Kali under certain restrictive rules and regulations and eat the flesh. Similarly, they are recommended to drink wine by worshipping the goddess Chandika. The purpose is restriction. People have given up all this restriction. Now they are regularly opening wine distilleries and slaughterhouses and indulging in drinking alcohol and eating flesh. A Vaishnava acharya like Narada Muni knows very well that persons engaged in such animal killing in the name of religion are certainly becoming involved in the cycle of birth and death, forgetting the real aim of life, to go home back to Godhead. Thus, the great sage Narada, while instructing Srimad Bhagavatam to Vyasa Muni, condemned the karmakanda fruitive activities mentioned in the Vedas. Narada told Vyasa, Jigupsitam dharma krite nushashitam svabhava raktasya mahan vyatikramaha yad vyagato dharma iditara shtito namanyatetasya nivranam vina. The people in general are naturally inclined to enjoy, and you have encouraged them in that way in the name of religion. This is verily condemned and is quite unreasonable. Because they are guided under your instructions, they will accept such activities in the name of religion and will hardly care for prohibitions. Bhagavatam 1.5.15. Srila Narada Muni chastised Vyasadeva for compiling so many Vedic supplementary scriptures, which are all intended for guiding the people in general. Narada Muni condemned these scriptures because they do not mention direct devotional service. Under Narada's instructions, direct worship of the Supreme Personality of Godhead, as described in the Srimad Bhagavatam, was set forth by Vyasadeva. The conclusion is that neither the Supreme Personality of Godhead, Vishnu, nor his devotee ever sanctioned animal killing in the name of religion. Indeed, Krishna incarnated himself as Lord Buddha to put an end to animal killing in the name of religion. Animal sacrifice under the name of religion is conducted by the influence of Tamaguna, the mode of ignorance, as indicated in the 18th chapter of Bhagavad Gita for 18:31-32. Yeya dharmam adharmam cha kriyam eva cha ayatavad prajanati buddhitsa partha rajasi adharmam dharmam itya manyate tamasavrta sarvartan viparitam cha buddhitsa partha tamasi. That understanding which cannot distinguish between the religious way of life and the irreligious, between action that should be done and action that should not be done, that imperfect understanding, O son of Pritha, is in the mode of passion. That understanding which considers irreligion to be religion and religion to be irreligion, under the spell of illusion and darkness, and strives always in the wrong direction, or partha, is in the mode of ignorance. Those who are involved in the mode of ignorance manufacture religious systems for killing animals. Actually, dharma is transcendental, as Lord Sri Krishna teaches. We must give up all other systems of religion and simply surrender unto him, sarva dharmam parityaja. Thus, the Lord and his devotees and representatives teach the transcendental dharma, which does not allow animal killing at all. At the present moment, it is the greatest misfortune that in India many so-called missionary workers are spreading irreligion in the name of religion. They claim an ordinary human being to be God and recommend meat eating for everyone, including so-called sannyasis. End of purport. Om Jnana-timirandasya Jnana-shalakaya Chakshurunmitamina Tasmai Shri Gurave Namaha. Namo Vishnu Padaya Krishna Prashthavati Shrimati Bhaktivedanta Swami Nityananda. Namaste Saraswati Devi Guruvani Pracharani Vishashini Vada Prasthili Shtriya. Jai Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhara Shri Vasadi Guru Bhaktivinoda Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare. I humbly bow down and seek blessings from all the assembled devotees, and thank you for the opportunity to read Srimad Bhagavatam for my own purification. I've selected a few points to summarize from lectures from Parampara. We are reading Canto 4, Chapter 27, called Attack by Chandavega on the city of King Pranjana. In this verse, we see that when Narada is describing King Pranjana, he is talking about King Prachinabarhishat himself. He didn't want the king to continue animal slaughter. This conversation is going on during Satya Yuga. In Satya Yuga, we wouldn't expect that there would be so many sacrifices, but some way or other, King Prachinabarhishat is engaged in many Vedic rituals. The purpose of Vedic rituals is to fulfill desires. If people don't have means to fulfill desires, then they might go crazy. Krishna says that person's pure consciousness is covered in the form of lust, which is never satisfied and which is burns like fire. Fire is one's consciousness has two qualities: never satisfied and always burning. It is very unpleasant. Vedas has rituals to provide the means by which one can get sufficient amount of eating, sleeping, mating, and defending. Although Vedic rituals may be very complicated, but Krishna says that all living entities exist on food grains. In other words, everyone gets food, and in order to get food, we need rains, and in order to get rain, we need sacrifice. Unless there is a sacrifice to Vishnu, the demigods will not be pleased and will not supply the rain, proper sunlight, proper wind. Nothing will go on, and therefore more difficult to get food. The food that is nourishing the body, the mind, the soul, we may think we have food, but Krishna says food has certain qualities. In the mode of goodness, it's supposed to increase the duration of life and give physical strength and happiness. It's supposed to take away diseases, and it's supposed to be pleasing to the heart. Now, in general, people eat food, and who knows what's going to happen to them. People get food poisoning, they get sick from food, or after eating the food, the next thing that looks beautiful to them is their bed. They want to sleep. But food's supposed to give strength. If after we are eating, we feel uncomfortable, tired, and we want to sleep, then the food had the opposite effect. The food with extreme taste, too salty, too sour, too spicy, is in the mode of passion. It increases disease. These things that are too intense become undigestible to the body. The body can't handle it, and the body produces ama. And the space in the body is filled with all kind of undigested food. And people feel very uncomfortably, physically and mentally. Food in mode of ignorance is stale, is tasteless, decomposed, especially eating dead flesh animals. In order to eat dead flesh, you have to let it decompose. These are all qualities in different modes of material nature. If one is eating in the mode of ignorance, they will get qualities in the mode of ignorance. If we are not in Krishna consciousness, then we have to be in one of the modes of material nature. Everyone is looking for satisfaction and happiness, and modes of nature, especially ignorance and passion, mean ever demanding senses. When a fire put out, then people feel some kind of relief for that moment. It is important for people to become Krishna conscious. The process is hearing and chanting, especially in Kali Yuga. Lord Chaitanya Mahaprabhu personally teaching us how to chant the holy name in a special mood of separation. The holy name is none different from Krishna. In this age, we are fortunate that we don't have to perform Vedic sacrifices, we don't have to engage in meditation, and even the deity worship is not the most significant part of Kali Yuga for spiritual advancement, because we don't have nothing. We don't have anything to offer in sacrifice. In general, people don't even know how to perform a sacrifice. They don't have the ability to be regulated. Most of people are lazy. People don't have concentration. Their mind is everywhere, anywhere their senses demand to go. They have no idea how to engage in Krishna service. Krishna is very merciful. If we simply ask him to engage in his service, then he gives us the ability in proportion to our sincerity. In this age, one of the aspects of the sincerity is to give up our mental concoctions. People are full of anxiety. Their relationships are not satisfying. They're desperate for some kind of satisfaction. The most eligible can get this satisfaction if they have faith in Hare Krishna mantra. If one can give up the idea that I can be happy in Kali Yuga and simply listen to the holy name with attention and respect, or with reverence and appreciation, then one can enter in the ocean of transcendental experience, transcendental bliss, and one can get enlightened in spiritual identity of himself and everyone around. Understand that Krishna is the Supreme Personality of Godhead and engage in devotional service, offering everything we can to Krishna. I will stop here. I apologize for any shortcomings during reading and summarizing. Pancha Kalpatrubhyascha Kripa